So today's webinar is on how to use Google Scholar. Firstly, what is Google Scholar? Google Scholar is a free academic search engine that prioritizes showing results through articles, reports, online books, and much more. Rather than searching through all possible answers like the regular Google, Google Scholar narrows down its results to more academic and verifiable sources of information. This screenshot on the right of the screen is what Google Scholar looks like when you first open it up. I will also be demonstrating this in a live demonstration, and you will be able to see many of the images that you see on the screen on my own screen. Next, what are the benefits of Google Scholar? Firstly, Google Scholar has familiar and relatively simple to use, much like Google. The articles, books, and gray literature you find are more likely to be reliable, peer-reviewed, and fact-based. It also allows you to have articles and citations to read later that you save. Also, it is free to use. Now, how can you use Google Scholar? To access Google Scholar, you have to type in the URL https://scholar.google.com, which will be easier to access when you get this as a copy of the presentation, and you can just click on it from the slide into the search bar and then press enter. It is important that you use this link because your first result of Google Scholar when searched may be restricted to only contents from your own personal country. But using the link that we have provided allows you to access all content from all over the world. So make sure that you're using this one link here. Once you have pressed enter, your screen will look similar to this. You can then start to search for scholarly articles and essays. An example of this would be typing in media bias in society. So this is what the Google Scholar page looks like when you first search up the website and click enter. Here is a handy tip. If you would like more specific results, put keywords in quotations. This tells Google that you want an exact match. Searching with quotes only finds results that include all of those words in that specific order. This gives you more specific results to your search. An example of this would be placing media bias in quotations as well as society. As you can see to the right of the screen, the first screenshot shows when there are no quotations and there are 3,080,000 results. And then when you put it into quotations, there are only 20,000 results. Note that this is an optional usage tool. You do not have to put things in quotations, but it is helpful for narrowing down the results. When you have searched something, your screen may look similar to this. To open and read an article, simply click on it as you would for a Google search result. So as you can see, when you search something up, it does look similar to Google, other than a few different key differences, but it is the same kind of platform where you click on something that comes up and you just click on the link to access it. Now let's go through the main features. Firstly, the sorting feature. Towards the very left of the screen, there is an area with options to sort the results from your search. You can find this in the screenshot below. It is outlined in a navy blue box. From here, you get to choose how long it's been since the article was published or the essay, and you can choose any time since 2021, since 2020, since 2017, as well as a custom range to your liking. You can choose to sort your search by a certain year, date, or by relevance. Your choice will then be colored in red to show that what you are sorting by. You can even create a custom range of what years you wish to see from your information. To do this, click on Custom Range and type in the years in the two boxes, then press Search. So as you can see in these screenshots, you get to choose your range and then you can just click on it and it'll show up in red, so then you're able to know what the range is. Next is the version feature. On the screen, there may be something beside the results. They may list things such as PDF, HTML, etc. These tell you what type of source it is and how it is accessible. HTML is a website, PDF, which is downloadable, is another format. Not all results will have these. So as you can see in the screenshot to the left, outlined by the navy blue box with the arrow, when you search something to the right of it, you get to see the type of format it's in, and it allows you to gain more information about the file. Continuing on about the version feature, some results will not be as easily accessible. You can check the All Versions feature to find the same sources but in a different format or place. The picture on the side shows you 7 other versions of one source as it has been uploaded to 7 different places. Not all sources have versions. So as you can see in this screenshot, when it says all blank versions, you can see the amount of versions of the website or the essay or whatever you're searching because it is in different formats. So by clicking on that, you can see all of the different options where you can access it from. The related article feature. If you would like to see more articles that are somewhat similar to the one you were reading, click on the Related Articles feature. This will direct you to a list of similar sources to the article you liked. So below most of the articles that are on Google Scholar, you will see an option to press on Related Articles. This will take you to many other articles that are related to the one that you were searching so that you can expand your researching. Next, the citing feature. If you would like to cite the source that you are reading, you can click on the quotation marks. Clicking on the quotation marks will give you a small pop-up like this, as you can see on the screenshot with the blue arrow pointing towards it. It will list all the citations for the source. Click on the citation you would like to copy, then copy and paste the citation to wherever you would like it to go. As you can see, there are many different formats for citations, including MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, and even Vancouver. And based on the type of research you're doing or what you're searching for, maybe if it's a project, you want to cite your sources, there are many different ways to cite, and they're usually particular to the area of interest that you are researching. Careful not to get the citations confused with the Cited By button. The Cited By button option shows you other articles that have used that source within their work. This feature allows you to see other articles and sources related to the topic you are interested in. So make sure that when you're trying to find the citation for the specific site, you click on the quotation marks rather than the cited by a number, because that would take you to a different area of articles that have used that actual source in their own source, or in their own content, and you'll be able to find other sources similar to it, but it actually won't take you to the citation page that you were looking for. Next, the Save feature. If you log into Google Scholar with your Google account, you can save articles to your library to come back to them later. To save sources to your library, you can click on the little star icon under the source. Once you have clicked it, you will know it has been saved if the star is colored in. There will also be a small pop-up in the bottom left corner of your screen telling you it has been saved to your library. So this save feature is very important because if you're too busy to read something at the moment or you want to save it for later reference, you can always just click on the star and it'll save it into your library. And to know that it's saved, make sure that it is filled in, and you will also most likely see a notification. Next, the Your Library feature. On the top right-hand corner of your screen, there will always be a My Library button. This will allow you to access all of your saved articles or essays that you have clicked on the star for and have seen that it's filled in. Once you see that, you will be able to go to My Library to access all of those articles. After clicking on My Library button, your screen may look similar to this. Your library is where all of your saved articles, websites, and sources are stored. If you have many articles that you want to keep a tab on, you can save them and they will be able to go into your library ready for you to come back to. This is a really great feature if you ever want to keep track of the sources that you've used, or you're very interested in one particular source and you like to go back and read it multiple times. For example, if it's very lengthy and you want to take more information from it, you can always just save it to access at a later date. So now let's try and search for some topics on Google Scholar. So the first step to getting to Google Scholar is, as I mentioned, accessing the site, and make sure to use this link here. So once you click on the link, this page will come up, and the first thing that you want to do is search something into the search bar. So as I was speaking about in the presentation, having quotations will narrow down your search and allow you to have more accurate sources come up. So I'm going to use quotations in order to do this. For example, Media Bias Society, as I explained in the presentation. From there, the first feature that I will be going over is the sort feature, which can be accessed from the left-hand side of your screen. You can do this by focusing your attention to the left side, and you will see different headers. There is Anytime, Since 2021, Since 2020, Since 2017, and also a custom range. So this allows you to choose the time of the source. As you can see, when you click on it, different sources will come up based on the order of the filter. As well, creating a custom range can be very helpful if you're looking for a certain year range. So for example, if I'm looking for one between 2005 and 2006, you will see the ones that come up for it. And as you can see, this one says on the date 2005, this one says 2006, 2006. And usually as you go further back in time, there are fewer sources, though it depends on what you're looking at and what topic you're looking into. So just be aware that sometimes having a wider range of years allows you to find more sources, when other times it doesn't affect it as much because there's a lot of research on the topic. And just to make sure that you can tell which filter you're using, you will see it outlined in red. So because I'm using the custom range, it's outlined in red, but if I wanted to go back to since 2021, it would also turn red there. Then the next feature is the version feature. And you can see this by looking at the right-hand side of the links that pop up. So as you can see, the version feature tells you the type of file format that it's in. So for example, here is PDF, PDF, and PDF. So that just tells you the type of file that the actual source is in currently. And you can just see it there, and then you can click on it to actually access it. And PDFs are downloadable, so they do come up in this format. Here it is. So this is what would come up if you click on the PDF version of this particular site. Then there's also the option to click on this All Versions button here beside the related articles. And for example, this one has 4 versions, so you could click on that to see all 4 versions. This one also has 4. This one only has 1 because this is the only one that is present on the site. This one has, again, only 1. This one has 2. So you can really see all the different versions available. So I'm going to click on all 4 versions for this one. And then all of the different types come up here. So you can just choose whichever one is best suited to you. I will now be going over how to actually save an article. And you can do this by clicking on this star icon here. When you click on it, it will then have a notification on your screen, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. And then it will go and be filled in after that. So you know that it's saved when it's filled in. And then as I mentioned in the presentation, you would simply go to the top right-hand corner and click on My Library. Then these are all of the articles that I have actually saved myself by clicking on the star icon, and you can see that they're saved here. You can also edit your library, and what I mean by that is you can delete articles from your library if you are finished with them, by just simply clicking on the checkbox that is right beside them, and then clicking on this trash can emoji to delete it from your library. And you can always undo it right after it's done if you want to undo your action and it was an accident or you misclicked anything. Then there's also the option to see related articles. So this is really helpful when you find a source or you find a topic that you're interested in, but you want to find some other sources that are related because maybe that source is not exactly what you were looking for. So I could just click on related articles here, and a few different ones would then come up. Then there's also the option for citations, and you can do this again by clicking on the two quotation marks. And make sure, for example, here you can see cited by 5. You do not want to click on cited by for finding the citation. You want to click on the two quotation marks. Once you click on it, you can see all of the different forms of citations that they have provided: MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, and Vancouver. And for example, if I was doing a project in geography, which uses APA citations, I would just copy it by doing Command C or Control C, depending on your type of computer. And then I could paste it into, say, a Google document, a slideshow, any type of file like that I wanted to have my citation in to make sure that I'm attributing the work to somebody else because it was not my own personal work. So citations are very important to making sure that you're not taking credit for anybody else's personal work, and you can access it by, again, these two quotation marks. Though there are the two quotation marks, as I mentioned, there is the cited by button as well, where you can find the other articles that have cited this source within their own article. So by clicking on that, you will be able to see the articles that come up. So for example, one of them about COVID-19 comes up, and then there's different ones as well. So it really depends on the article itself and how many other articles have used them as a source. And also when there are many other articles that use it as a source, you can think that it's at least a slightly more reliable than, say, one that doesn't have any, because other accurate and reliable sources are actually citing that source as well. So make sure that you're always checking in on the accuracy and how it was written and who it was written by to make sure that it is true information. And then lastly, you can search again anything that you're interested in by going into the search bar, or you can even go back to the Google Scholar homepage by clicking on the icon in this top corner. So that's the end of the presentation. We will now be going into breakout rooms for further discussion.